to the Minnesota Vikings. Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and welcome to another Chicago Bears preview. I will not only be doing previews of these Bears contests every week, I will be doing reactions to the Bears contests every week. And in today, we're going to talk about the Bears' upcoming Week 5 matchup. The Bears are sitting at 2-2, and they go on the road to travel on the division rival Minnesota Vikings, who sit at 3-1 in the course of this season. And it's time to talk about the previews, the matchups, my predictions, and my picks for this game. But before I get into that, make sure you guys leave this video a like, as it always helps the channel to grow and it beats the YouTube algorithm. And if you are one of the people that are not subbed, go ahead, click that subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the content that I post on this channel. But it is time to talk about the Bears versus the Vikings. Without further ado, let's dive into it. It is time to talk about this Chicago Bears offense going up against this Minnesota Vikings defense. And the first thing I'm going to touch on is this Bears offense. The Bears offense coming to this game with a very productive and a very strong running game, but the passing game has continued to struggle all season. And last week against the New York Giants was absolutely no different. You had a game last week where Darnell Mooney was the only wide receiver to get a single reception in the game. Now, Justin Fields, he didn't look bad when he had time in the pocket. The narrative around this Bears offense is the passing game, and one of the reasons is the offensive line struggles. Now, it does not help the offensive line struggles when you lose, I believe, the best player on this Bears offensive line, and that was left guard Cody Whitehair to a knee injury, who was put on IR, and he is out for this contest. Now you're going with the guy like Ty Carter at left guard, a young player who hasn't had much experience, and the Bears offensive line is already starting a rookie left tackle in Braxton Jones. They have to play remotely better. They have to pass off the blitzes in this game because Minnesota likes to get after the quarterback. They have to pass protect to give Justin Fields that time in order to hit his receivers. And the Bears offense, I've been clamoring for this for the past couple of weeks, and it doesn't change at all in this ball game, especially going up against the division rival, especially when going against the Minnesota Vikings defense, who is a very solid defense in their own right, led by guys like Eric Kendricks, led by Harrison Smith, who I still believe is one of the more underrated and under-discussed safeties that we have in football. He is very productive. He is all over the football field. And this Bears unit is going to have to account for where Harrison Smith is, because he, at this point of his career, still can wreck a game, can still wreak havoc on your offense. Corners for the Minnesota Vikings, Patrick Peterson is getting a little bit older in the tooth. He's not the same player. He's not in his prime anymore. The Bears have to take advantage of a secondary that is a little bit older and also banged up. You have a guy like Peterson that's a little older. You have Datzler, who is questionable for this ball game. You have Andrew Booth Jr., his backup, who is also questionable for this ball game. Lewis Seen just went to IR. They have to take advantage of the secondary. And in order for the Bears offense to take advantage of the secondary, they have to protect Justin Fields. Danielle Hunter can get after the quarterback. Jonathan Bullard, a former Bear, can do some things up the middle. You have a guy like Dalvin Tomlinson who could play some really good football. Zadarius Smith can wreck a game. He's though questionable for this ball game. He can still make some things happen. This Bears offense, they have to protect. They have to play better on your front. Now you're going against a team that I think the Bears can run the football on. They're a little bit strong up front, but we're going to see if David Montgomery is going to be a full go for this contest. He's playing back to practice, but we'll have to see if he's able to be a full go for this game. Khalil Herbert, he is still a very productive running back in your backfield. And you have Justin Fields' ability with his legs. I think the Bears have to get more creative offensively. The Bears have to design ways to get these receivers open, and they have to protect the quarterback. The Vikings defense is nothing to slouch on. The Vikings defense can make some things happen, and the Bears have to come out and they have to be a little bit more creative. Justin Fields, he has to have the time. And with this offensive line, young, it's been a lot of shuffling, and it's going to probably be even more shuffling that Ja'Tyre Carter is probably going to start at that left guard position. You still have Sam Mustipher, who they throw in and out of the game. They have to get continuity up front. Justin Fields has to have the time. You cannot have him running around back there all day. He's going to get nicked up, and he's going to get banged up if this Bears offensive line does not protect. Now, the running game for the Bears has been very strong this season. If Montgomery is able to play, I think that is going to help even more with this Bears running game that has been the absolute key to their offense. So the Bears protect, make Justin Fields have some time, and he can be able to make these receivers get open, and the receivers have concepts to get open in order to take advantage of this struggling, not so much struggling, but I think a more banged up and a little bit older secondary. Now we're going to talk about this Bears defense against the Minnesota Vikings offense. They have to stop the run. They have to stop the run. The Vikings like to set up their play action with running backs Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison, who have been playing some really solid football for them this season. The Bears have to find a way to slow them down. The Bears have to find a way to keep the Vikings running game in check. Now, the passing game for the Minnesota Vikings could be extremely explosive. Kirk Cousins has been playing a lot better than what I expected him to play this season. Jefferson, guy like Adam Thielen, and KJ Osborne has been a sleeper for this Minnesota Vikings team. The coverage is going to guys like Jefferson and guys like Adam Thielen. They have been able to take advantage of KJ Osborne being more free and having some free coverages, and he has been a very productive player. CJ Ham, fullback out of the backfield, as well as Irv Smith Jr. This Vikings offense can score some points. With a guy like Kirk Cousins, who's been playing a lot better football, led by Kevin O'Connell, this Minnesota Vikings team can score some points on you. Now, Jalen Johnson for this game is going to be questionable. It's interesting to see how they're going to line him up. I think more they're going to line him up on a guy like Jefferson, because Jalen Johnson, I think, is one of the better cover corners that we have in this league, and Justin Jefferson is definitely a top 5 wide receiver. So I think you're going to see more of Jalen Johnson on him. Eddie Jackson has been playing a whole lot better this year. Now he's in his full free safety, free roam type of a feel for the game, type of positioning. He has been playing a lot better football. Robert Quinn has to show up. Robert Quinn has to show up. He has to make his presence known. It's been kind of a down start for him as far as getting after the quarterback. He has to get better. The Bears' rotation at the defensive line up front, they have to be more stout. They have to be more stout against this Vikings team that could do a lot of things offensively. The running game for the Vikings has been playing solidly, and they have been getting some things done passing-wise, and they have been an explosive team when they are really clicking. And this Bears defense struggled against the run game all season long, and they have to get it together this week to try to pull off an upset against this Minnesota Vikings offense, who can score some points. Their offensive line has been playing a lot better this season, so this Bears defense, they have to create some havoc. They have to find ways to create turnovers. Now, Kirk Cousins is one of those type of quarterbacks. If you get to him, if you rattle him, he can make some mistakes. So the Bears have to get some pressure. The Bears have to make him move around a little bit. You can't let him sit in the pocket with that explosive offense. Have to get after a guy like Kirk Cousins. You have to make this Vikings team rattled. You have to make them rattle, especially in the passing game. And this Bears defensive line, led by Gibson and led by Robert Quinn, Al-Quadin Muhammad, Justin Jones and his boys have to create some havoc up front. Now, we all know what Roquan Smith can do. So Roquan Smith is going to be flying all over the football field, as he usually does. He is going to make his presence known. It's just the rest of this defensive unit has to step up, especially in the running game. And they have to stay disciplined, because for the most part last week, they were not disciplined. You have to stay disciplined and do your job this week against the Minnesota Vikings offense that can put points on the board. Now, my 3 keys for a Chicago Bears victory this week. The key number 1, pass protection. The pass protection has to improve at some point. You cannot let Justin Fields get 5 sacks, 3 sacks, 4 sacks, 5 sacks. You cannot let that happen. They have to find ways to keep Justin Fields clean. This Bears offense, some of the best things that have happened has been Justin Fields using his legs. Now, they did have an explosive deep ball last week when he had some time and Darnell Mooney got open. Bears need more of not necessarily the deep ball, but the protection so Justin Fields can attack downfield, and the protection so these receivers can somehow get open. The number 2 key is you have to slow down the Minnesota Vikings running game. Try to make them a little bit more one-dimensional. Dalvin Cook and Alexander Mattison, when they're running well, that sets up so many things for this Minnesota Vikings offense. And the Bears run defense has just, let's face it, been bad most of the season. So they have to step up and improve on that this week against the running team like the Minnesota Vikings that can run the football very well with Mattison and Cook and with their offensive line that has been playing very well. You slow Cook down, you slow Mattison down, you make this Vikings team one-dimensional, and they have to beat you from the pocket. And there's been at times that Kirk Cousins has struggled a little bit. The number 3 key for the Bears to win this football game, they have to play clean football. Minnesota is a better team than the Chicago Bears right now. Let's just be honest. They have to play clean. They have to play smart. They have to play fast. And they have to play physical with no mistakes. You cannot have a lot of those mental breakdowns that the Bears have had, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You cannot have those false start penalties. You cannot have those holding penalties, because that is going to set your team back. The Bears, let's just face it right now, are not as a talented football team right now as the Minnesota Vikings are. So in order to pull off an upset in this football game, you're going to have to limit your mistakes, and you're going to have to create turnovers on the defensive side of the ball to give your team more of a chance to win this football game. But with all that said, my pick for this game this week will be, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings in this game, and here's why. Number 1, I don't trust the Bears' passing offense to be explosive, and I don't trust this offensive line to protect them. This offensive line has been bad all season. There's been so much shuffling, and now with the Cody Whitehair injury, there's going to be even more shuffling, and they haven't had any bit of continuity yet, which is why it hasn't looked well. And you're going to the Bears' defensive side of the ball. The run defense has been bad all year, and when the Vikings can run the football with Cook and Mattison, that sets up so much of their offense. And I just think Cook and Mattison are going to have solid games against this Bears defense that has not played very good against the run, and that is going to set up so much of what they like to do in the passing game and the play action game with Kirk Cousins. So I'm going to pick the Minnesota Vikings in this contest. I don't think it's going to be necessarily that close, because I just do not trust the Bears offense to consistently score points or be any point of consistent at all. So I'm going to pick the Minnesota Vikings in this contest. I'm going to pick a score of 21-10. That is all I have for you guys today. Make sure you guys leave this video a like, as it always helps this channel to grow. Make sure you guys comment your thoughts down below on this upcoming Bears contest. What do you think? What do you see? What are your picks? I would love to see what you guys have to say. And as always, click the sub button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the videos that I post. But I'm APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great and excellent day, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.